For centuries, humans have been growing alongside our botanical brethren. Our histories have mixed and mingled to bring us modern medical marvels, faded folklore, and everything in between. Of course, in order to understand the plant, we have to start with its roots. I'm M. Grebner-Gaddis, and this is Rooted. Hello, and welcome back to another week of Rooted. This week, we're chatting about one of the quickly fading tastes of summer, blackberry. Blackberry, or rubus, is actually a huge genus, so we're just going to be talking about it fairly generally today. Blackberries are native to a pretty long list of places: North America, South America, Asia, Europe, pretty much everywhere. And with that in mind, it's kind of important to know which are native and which are invasive, because if you plant the wrong kind, looking at you, Himalayan blackberry, it can really take over and crowd out your native species. The Pacific Northwest region of North America knows this all too well. The good news? The best way to fight back against invasive blackberry is to eat them. We love it when the solution is snacking on this channel. And while there are a ton of different blackberries, each with their own unique needs, most of these guys are going to thrive in well-draining, disturbed soil in areas that don't have too much sun, but do have plenty of water. If the Cullens would like it, there's a good chance blackberry would too. With its prickly stems, lush green leaves, dark, sweet compound berries, and sweet little white flowers, this guy looks like most members of the family. Plus, you can be sure it's safe to eat if you're sure it's a compound berry, which is a berry made up of smaller pieces that are all connected, and if it's in North America, since all compound berries that grow here are non-toxic. That being said, don't go around picking and eating stuff you aren't able to identify, especially from people's yards, since you never really know what people have an affinity for and what they might be going to great lengths to ensure can grow in their yard. And as it turns out, there is more allure to these dark berries than just their taste. According to a variety of folklores, anywhere from Greek to English, these berries belong to the king of the underworld. The story goes that after a huge fight, Satan, or whoever the big bad in that tradition is, gets into a huge fight with the King of Kings, or God of Gods, or whoever we're talking about, and is basically cast out of the heavens, plummeting to earth and landing in a prickly patch of blackberry. Betrayed by the brambles, Satan was pissed, cursing the fruit to be thinner and less tasty, and quote-unquote tainting them with his misfortune. This story honestly is really validating of my feelings towards blackberries being the worst compound berry. Anyway, it is because of this hellacious hex that berry lovers are warned to not dare pick or eat blackberries after Michaelmas, which is the Christian feast day celebrating Archangel Michael, who shoved Satan out of the sky on September 29th. This is because the king of the underworld is said to have spat on them that day, and absolutely nobody wants to snack on the devil's loogie. We love ourselves just a little bit. Blackberry was also said to be planted on graves. Some say it was done to keep sheep from grazing there, while others say the bush helped to ensure the dead stay entombed, citing that the devil's powers would surely keep them in their place without allowing them to be reached by evil spirits. Which kind of makes sense when we also consider how deep their roots are, and how hard they can be to remove, coming back stronger every time you cut them back. Either way, we can clearly see that people believed the history of this berry was as dark as its juice, staining and sullying their opinion of them for years to come. As you've probably guessed, this rumored curse still wasn't enough to keep us all from enjoying them from time to time. In witchcraft, blackberry was often used and called upon in protection spells, working with certain deities, and sometimes tied to fairies, with the idea being that blackberries grow where the veil between our worlds is thinner, and servicing as a snack that can really bring us together. In food, we're all probably pretty familiar with blackberries being eaten alone, baked into pies, mixed with whiskey and other liquors, slathered on meat. The story goes on. I'll spare you the details, but we'll probably do a mocktails and mixtapes drink soon on these. In medicine, there are all kinds of interesting stories about how blackberry can help us, even if it's got a little Satan spit on it. For instance, it was said that in old-timey England, folks would pass their babies under the brambles to prevent whooping cough, with the idea being that the bush would take the cough from the baby and hold on to it. Additionally, blackberry was also often leaned on to treat dysentery, tummy troubles, whooping cough again, but with a T, not just the passing of babes under branches, and a ton of other ailments. The roots and leaves were also used to treat labor pain and toothaches, either through basically just boiling them or chewing on them. And this likely worked because they're astringent, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial, helping to kill any germs and calm down any of that angry tissue. Of course, blackberries are also well known for being a great source of antioxidants. We discuss how exactly antioxidants work in our strawberry episode, so I won't dig much deeper here, but it's important to remember that any food that is a deep red or dark blue color is going to be high in antioxidants. Today, we still use blackberries for a lot of the same things. They remain a solid snack to have on hand, they're an easy addition to a lot of herbal blends, they add a sweeter, more balanced flavor, and plus just some general germ and inflammation fighting benefits. That's all I've got for this week. Next time you see a bramble, I hope you'll snack on an invasive species and celebrate not being afraid of Satan's spit at the same time. I'll be back next week with another plant for us all to dig into. See you then. Until next time, be kind to yourselves, be kind to the earth, and just like a plant, drink your water. If you liked the show, please subscribe and consider leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you listen. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at rooted.pod. We're finally updating regularly on YouTube at rooted.podcast, and you can check out our website, rootedpod.com, for transcripts, updates, merch, and so much more. The show is written, produced, and hosted by me. I'm Grebner Gaddis, edited by Kat Fren of Fren Diagram, and our theme music was written and produced by Eric Cluxon. Rooted is a Henbane Media LLC production.